Diamond Dynasty is getting some massive changes in MLB The Show 23. Honestly, these are probably the biggest changes that the mode has seen going back to maybe MLB 18 with Immortals. The biggest change coming this year is that Diamond Dynasty is now going to be broken down into seasons throughout the year. Every season will last 6 to 8 weeks, and every season is going to have certain sets of cards attached to it. I'm going to try my best to explain all of this. It's a lot of new features. If it's confusing, just hang in there. I still have a lot of questions. So let's start it off with Season 1. Any card that gets released during Season 1 is going to be part of Set 1. And then when Season 2 rolls around, any new card that gets released then is going to be part of Set 2. But in Season 2, you will also be able to use cards from Set 1. So far, so good. The big change is when you get to Season 3 and beyond. When Season 3 starts, you're going to have the new cards that release that'll fall in the Set 3. You will also be able to use Set 2 from the previous season, but you will not be able to use Set 1 cards anymore. There are some exceptions to that. I'll get to that in a minute. Basically, MLB The Show is trying to highlight cards that release during a specific season, and they want those cards to be the focus for that 6 to 8 week stretch. Now, I'm not a huge fan of having part of my inventory just not be available to use. If I really like a card from Season 1, I kind of want to be able to just use that card whenever I want, you know? I grinded for it, let me use it. Well, there is a feature that does address that problem in a way. Every season, you'll get to choose a wildcard player, and a wildcard player can be a player from any previous season. So let's say you're in Season 4, and you can only use Set 3 and Set 4 cards, but I really want to use a card from Set 1. I can assign that card from Set 1 to be my wild card and add him into my lineup. Now, I like this wild card feature. I just wish maybe we could choose more than one player, because that kind of feels like an impossible decision if you like many cards from the previous sets. Now, in addition to everything that we've already discussed in this video, all of the different numbered sets, the wild card sets, there's also going to be a core set. The core set is going to be really important. The core set includes live series players, Negro League storyline rewards, live series collection rewards, and more. And the reason that's a big deal is because you can use core players in any season, no matter what the restrictions are. Once again, core players can be used anytime in any mode. So this might be the year where live series cards become much more important. This might give them a good bit of longevity into the game. Now, here's something important to know. Some modes will not be affected by this seasons model. Play versus friends, play versus CPU, casual head-to-head, and battle royale will not be affected by this seasonal model. You'll be able to use whatever cards you want at any time. For mini seasons, conquest, and events, sometimes the seasonal model will have an effect on those modes, and sometimes it won't. It just is going to depend on what's going on at that certain time in the game. The mode that's going to be impacted by this the most is going to be ranked. Overall, I'm still a little uncertain with how I feel about this change. As I said already, I don't like the idea of some of my cards just being completely unavailable to use. It's my inventory. I worked for these cards. I want to be able to use those cards in whatever mode I want. I still have a lot of questions about this new change. I feel like a lot of my questions will be answered on the 23rd when they do their Diamond Dynasty content stream. But right now, I'm trying to keep an open mind about it, and I probably won't be able to make a full opinion on these changes until I actually get my hands on the game and start playing around with it for myself. But feel free to let me know what you think about it in the comments. Now, one of the reasons they wanted to do this seasonal model is because this gives them some chances to change up content. They've been making it a big point that this now lets them release 99 overall cards on day 1 and any day after that. A lot of people get pretty uneasy when they hear that statement, but I think the biggest thing is there has to be a perspective shift on how you look at Diamond Dynasty now. If you're thinking about Diamond Dynasty in the old model where 99s will be available day 1, you're going to think, oh, well, this is just going to make the game mode stale right off the rip. I think we have to be looking at it from the perspective that Diamond Dynasty is now going to be broken into seasons, and instead of looking at Diamond Dynasty as a 12-month thing, start looking at it as a 6 to 8 week thing. And maybe that'll make a little bit more sense with some of these 99s teams that are going to be dropping early. I think this is going to have a big impact on player of the month in Tops now. I think every Lightning player of the month from April all the way until September will now be a 99, and Tops Now cards also probably will get up to 99. No more 90 overall player of the month Buxton when he should have been a 99 for that month he had. The next thing to briefly talk about is the new captains feature. I've already covered it a little bit on the channel, but in case you haven't heard anything about it or you haven't seen it, there's going to be a new card series in Diamond Dynasty called Captain Cards. And these Captain Cards are going to give you the opportunity to boost up some attributes on other players throughout your team. It's going to be pretty similar to chemistry boosts on games like Madden and FIFA. Each captain is going to have a certain criteria that you have to meet with the players that you're putting on the team, and if you meet a certain number of those, you'll be able to add a boost to those players. They showed this 92 Miguel Cabrera, for example, and his tier 1 boost is +5 contact to lefties and +5 batting clutch with -5 to fielding ability. And in order to unlock that boost, you have to set him as your captain and then put 5 hitters from the Tigers on your squad. And it works the same for tier 2 and tier 3. You just have to meet those requirements. They said all 30 teams will have a captain, but it's not just limited to that. They'll be able to make captains for a bunch of different things, like milestone card captains. They even showed Willie Mays being a 1950s and 60s team captain. So there's a lot of creativity that can go in with this feature, and I'm really excited for it. Now, quickly, let's move over to mini seasons and talk about the change that that's getting. If you liked the way mini seasons was in MLB 22, you're going to be able to have the exact same experience. But now there's also going to be a separate mini seasons mode that's going to have certain themes attached to it. I would think of it almost as like event restrictions, but for mini seasons. I think this is a nice tweak to mini seasons. It's a nice addition, and it should make it a little bit more enjoyable to grind. Another game mode they brought up is ranked co-op. There were some questions with that, specifically the reward path. They did confirm that ranked co-op rewards will be the same as regular ranked season rewards. So now you'll be able to get those rewards twice if you make World Series in both modes, or even 3 times if you make World Series in both and hit the ranked program requirements. I know some people were a little disappointed that ranked co-op is not getting its own rewards, but personally for me, I'm fine with it because that guarantees that the mode is always going to be getting something. We don't want it to end up like mini seasons last year where there was a reward every like 4 months. Coming up on the last 2 things here, jumping into programs, there's a new thing they added at the end of featured programs. Once you finished a featured program, your XP was basically going nowhere. Now, at the end of every featured program, there's going to be this infinite loop of XP that you can get, and once you get that XP, you'll be able to get packs. And they actually added this cool little mini game here. I'll let the clip play so you can see it for yourself.
So let's say we maxed out our XP. We got another 25,000 XP. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, shout out to our UI and our art teams. This is one of the best looking features that we have ever created. Let's check it out. There are 6 rewards you can get, 3 silver, 2 gold, and 1 diamond. Diamond being the rarest, of course. So whichever icon is lit up at the end of this animation, that's the reward that you get. Let's try it out. As you can see, the icon bounces around, bounces around.
What is this?
You gotta pick when to stop, and if you hit stop, okay, now it's slowing down,
Give me the diamonds!
Oh, okay, I thought it was a diamond for a
Hey,
sec,
balling is a
but,
habit. That works.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Pretty cool addition, but that's really only if you're actually completing the featured program and getting all the XP possible. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that never even see that, but hey, for the grinders out there, it's going to be good. And the last big piece of information that we got was a little tease at the end where they confirmed that Team Affinity will be coming back in MLB 23. A lot of people did not like Team Affinity going away. It was a great way for people to grind out cards. And that was one of the biggest complaints I heard all year throughout 22 is just people were saying, we want Team Affinity back. And now we can confirm that it will be back. So that's the main gist of all the stuff that we got today. We got some big changes coming to the mode. And I think there's going to be a lot of uncertainty in the community going into the launch of the game, just because this is such a big change. So let me know all your thoughts on it. Let me know if you're for this, against it, if you have concerns. I'd love to hear all your thoughts and opinions down there. So let me know. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.